The night is dark and the clouds are gone. It seems to be the perfect time to identify the Circle of Stars Druid. Druid is a class that is near and dear to my heart. They are a real sleeper hit in my play group, offering a huge amount of versatility, a lot of problem solving, utility, damage potential, roleplay. And something that I like about them is that each circle gives something so unique to the table. The Circle of Stars is no different. These druids study the stars and have passed down this knowledge from time immemorial. These druids are studious and keep track of their findings in star charts, which they may keep in giant megalithic structures to protect them from even the greatest cataclysm. In order to protect this knowledge, they pull power from the cosmos itself and draw on it to fuel their magic. Already, this is a huge flavor win. This is such a cool idea that really hasn't been explored for druids. The closest, obviously, being the Circle of the Moon. But I can't tell you how many new players I have brought to the table who have played druids and have wanted to worship the stars, or in some cases be friends with the stars, and the only closest option I had was the Circle of the Moon. And while that did fit their needs, it did feel like it kind of missed the mark just a little bit. The flavor wasn't exactly what they were going for. And as soon as the Unearthed Arcana of this circle came out, I immediately sent this to all of those friends. I don't want to spoil too much, but this may very well be my favorite circle, and maybe even my favorite new archetype in Tasha's. I mean, right off the bat, they are getting a powerhouse ability with Star Map. At second level, you create a star chart, which marks your heavenly studies. It is a tiny object which you can use as a spellcasting focus. And furthermore, while you hold the star chart, you gain the following benefits. You learn the Guidance cantrip. You also know the Guiding Bolt spell. You always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against your daily preparations. Furthermore, you can cast Guiding Bolt a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus without expending a spell slot, though you have to complete a long rest before you can do so again. If you lose your star chart, you can create a new one in an hour ritual, which you can do as part of a short or long rest. This process destroys the old star chart. This ability to me perfectly synthesizes my personal philosophy of D&D. It is such a flavorful and unique mechanic, but has such powerful mechanical backing to it as well. Already there's a clear roleplay demarcation between this druid and others. These druids have a star chart, which could be all sorts of different options. It could be a stone tablet with holes drilled into it, or fragile glass discs, or a crystal which shows starry constellations when light is shown through it. I can see now a Circle of the Stars druid frantically running around the battlefield, casting spells while trying not to destroy their fragile glass discs, these things they've maybe worked on for decades. But this ability is also so much more than that. Guidance is a powerful and flavorful cantrip, one that you will see value out of time and time again, as long as you remember to establish it. And then you get Guiding Bolt, which is good, and then you can cast it for free, which is better, especially when you get this ability. That is going to be an invaluable offensive option, as it does considerable damage for the level it is, while also bringing a supportive benefit. When you get this ability, you get 2 of these for free, which means you can use it without sacrificing your other valuable druid spell slots. I think this is so important because it allows you to achieve the flavor of the circle without it being at any cost to your other abilities. Though those free uses do become less useful as you level up, as you can't upcast them, Guiding Bolt is still a very good first level spell and it is always nice to have it in your back pocket. And besides, if you do want to upcast it, you do have your normal spell slots for that. Already, I think Circle of Stars has done a fantastic job establishing itself both flavor-wise and mechanically, but that's not even all it gets at 2nd level. You also gain Starry Form. Starting at 2nd level, as a bonus action, you can expend a use of your wild shape to cause your body to glow with a glimmering constellation. This form sheds bright light 10 feet and dim light an additional 10 feet. This form lasts for 10 minutes, and when you use this bonus action, you choose a certain type of constellation to glow on your body, which gives you specific abilities. The first is Archer. When you activate this form, or as a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can hurl a luminous arrow out to a range of 60 feet. You make a ranged spell attack, and if the attack hits, you deal 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier in radiant damage to the target. You could also choose Chalice, which, whenever you cast a spell that restores hit points, you or the target of the spell can gain additional hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. Or lastly, Dragon. When you make an intelligence or wisdom check or a constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10. Once again, this is another bread and butter ability of this circle, giving you 3 different roles to play in combat. The wide versatility of this is insane. If you need to get more damage downrange as quickly as possible, you can pick Archer. Or if you know this is going to be a tough fight and that you are going to need to keep your people up, you can pick Chalice. Do you really need to concentrate on that spell? Or are you in an RP situation where you really don't want to fail that insight check or really want to succeed on those knowledge rolls? In that case, you could pick Dragon. In combat, what constellation you pick is easily the most important choice you will make for the rest of that battle, as it will define your playstyle. My personal favorite is Archer, as on average it does about the same damage as Flaming Sphere, but you don't have to concentrate on it, meaning you can throw up a concentration spell and then still use this ability and get some damage out every turn. But I do love the other 2 options as well. I think each one of them has their place, and these first 2 2nd level abilities really establish this kind of druid as a blaster. This is no Circle of the Moon. You are going to be mid or backline hurling spells while you let the frontline fighter or paladin take hits. At least for now. At 6th level, you gain the ability Cosmic Omen. When you finish a long rest, you can consult your star map for a heavenly omen. When you do so, roll a die and you gain a special reaction based on whether that die rolled an even or an odd number. On an even, you gain Wheel. Whenever a creature within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to roll a d6 and add that number to the total. On an odd, you gain Woe. Whenever a creature within 30 feet of you attempts to make an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can roll a d6 and subtract that number from the total. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus before you have to finish a long rest to do so again. This is an incredibly useful support ability. Unless you pick up Warcaster, a druid isn't really going to be in a situation where they have things to do with their reaction. So giving them the special one allows you to support the rest of your party no matter what you're trying to do with your action and bonus. And since you can use this on an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, this is useful outside of combat and in. You could use this on initiative rolls, or you can stack this with the Dragon constellation to even better guarantee that when you make those intelligence or wisdom checks that you are going to succeed. I actually think using this on initiative rolls is most useful when you have woe, as making that one really nasty bad guy move later in initiative is going to be much more helpful than having one of your guys move just a little bit earlier. I do think it's interesting that they said that you can roll any die for this, as technically that does mean you could roll a d3 for this, making it much more likely you would get woe. However, if you're out there and you're thinking about playing Circle of Stars, don't do that. We see once again, this ability is super useful and is crazy supported by the lore of the Circle. I mean, looking to the heavens for omens of what's to come is so cool and so in flavor. At 10th level, you gain Twinkling Constellations. This causes your Starry Form to improve. The 1d8 of the Archer and Chalice constellations becomes 2d8, and while you are in your dragon form, you gain a fly speed of 20 feet and can hover. Furthermore, at the start of each of your turns, you can choose to change the constellation that you chose. This ability is nothing crazy for 10th level. I mean, it was very clear in this book that Wizards of the Coast really tried to make sure that everybody could fly, and so hence Dragon gets a fly speed. And the other two abilities are just upgraded so that they can keep pace with everything else you're trying to do. Something I think is really interesting, though, is that you can change your constellation at the start of your turn. This is incredibly useful if you get midway into a fight and you realize you picked the wrong constellation for what's going on. You can pick a new one super easily. In fact, you can do so at no action cost, which is pretty rare in Dungeons & Dragons. So I've got to say, this is a pretty good ability. And lastly, at 14th level, the Circle of Stars Druid gets Full of Stars. While they are in their starry form, they are incorporeal and gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. This is by far the weakest of the abilities flavor-wise, and for 14th level, I don't really think it's that powerful. As I mentioned previously, this is very clearly a blaster druid, so you're really not trying to get hit in the first place. And at 14th level, you are going to be fighting all sorts of magical creatures, and resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage is just going to be a little less useful. We all know by this point that Wizards of the Coast really isn't good at giving capstone abilities to their classes or their archetypes, but I do wish there was something a little bit more here. In fact, instead of an ability relating to the Starry Form, I really wish this was an ability relating either to your star map or to the Cosmic Omens ability you got at 6th level. I would love to see either of those concepts explored more, either giving you more spells you have prepared that you can cast, or making new omens that you can use. As it stands right now, this ability kind of feels like they didn't really know how to finish this circle off, so they just threw a bit of barbarian in there and called it a day. That being said, it's not too common you're going to get to 14th level anyways, and I think every other ability in this circle is so dang good that I can forgive that it doesn't follow through at 14th level. Personally, this druid circle hits all the marks for me. It focuses on the blaster side of being a druid. It has super flavorful abilities that are incredibly mechanically viable, allowing you both to put damage down the field and support the rest of your party at the same time. I always get really excited about character concepts when I make and identify about a certain archetype, but I can say definitively that the next character I make is going to be a Circle of the Stars Druid. Circle of the Stars gets a 5 out of 5 from me. How do you feel about the Circle of the Stars? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, consider liking it. And if you like the kind of content we do on this channel, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed to the channel and you want to go that extra mile to help us out, you can consider buying us a coffee. We have more information about that in the comment section down below, and all funds go to making this channel even better for you guys. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you on your next short rest.